Thank you, everyone, for joining us for another Innovation Leader Members Opportunity event. This promises to be a very interesting one. Continue to Grow has developed a new tool to help with collaboration and with discussion and support of innovation. It sounds like it'll actually make the whole process very fun and engaging, and coming out with better and more creative results. I do ask you to mute your microphones so that your background noise doesn't interrupt the presentation. You can unmute your microphone when you wish to ask a question or speak. Our presenter is Rui Patricio, who's the president and CEO of Continue to Grow, and he will be taking us through this what sounds like a really very interesting new tool to support innovation. Rui, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much, Arthur, and it's a great pleasure, and I will take this opportunity, of course, to show what really is about ideaChef. So I would like to start this presentation by telling you what is Continue to Grow. So basically, we are a company very focused on developing these new tools, and we have in our portfolio a set of software applications as well as games. So this presentation will be very much focused on the games. So I would expect that I'll be able to share with you in more detail, particularly this new game that we created, ideaChef. As Arthur explained and during the introduction, this kind of game is a board game, as you noticed from the initial slide. And this is really targeting organizations that are looking for solving concrete problems or eventually challenges they have or they expect to have, and at the same time increasing the team spirits and collaboration among the team. So I recall when I worked also in innovation, when we had some kind of task force. So imagine now playing a game with your own task force to solve a problem. That's basically the experience that we are giving now with ideaChef. So the agenda is very much focused on the game, so we will make I'll make a short introduction about the portfolio that we have in this particular area, and then I will show you like a case study, because it's really nice to see the whole process, how it works, and what kind of results the company and the organization could expect from ideaChef. And finally, because it's really important for us, we need to have very good partners that could help the company to facilitate the whole process. So it means that we are looking for partners to support us in these rollouts of ideaChef in different markets that we will expect to enter. And I don't mind if you want to interrupt me all the time, so we can establish this dialogue. Otherwise, I will wait for Q&A. But in the meantime, I will show you some videos, so we will try to interact a little bit more. I would like to talk a little bit, shortly about the background in the area. So, ideaChef is our big project now, of course, but we started with other games. And so initially we designed like an innovation assessment with a more gamified approach. It is a web-based application, and is a free online assessment self-assessment for companies that wish to evaluate themselves with the best practices and assess their innovation capabilities. And it was like the first project that we developed having in mind this game approach. And the next was what we called the innovation sticker cards collection. And it's a game to create awareness about the problems that you have to overcome if you wish to implement an innovation program. But it's very interesting because you need to swap the stickers with the other people from your company or from your organization in order to complete the card collection. And it requires collaboration, it requires discussion. So as you imagine, is a very interesting tool to apply if you want to create awareness or trigger people for innovation. And this was like a project that we created for an innovation conference, and initially in Dublin, and then we repeated in Bologna. And well, after that we played with other companies. And recently, during this year, we launched a small game that is, we call it like the idea management game, that is to facilitate the ideation process, and is very similar with the stickers collection, but is very much more focused on the ideation. And we played this with a client in Italy, and now we are really coming up with a case study, and we are going to make like a video because it was a very interesting experience. And also we developed another game for creating awareness that we call it like the scratch cards. That you know how it works. It's very easy, but at the end people understand clearly the key drivers of innovation, or at least the messages that we want to pass to particular people that should be or are involved in the process of innovation. Well, we created these games, right? But we thought that we wanted, in fact, a different kind of game, because it was like a requirement from the client to have a more complete deliverable. People want to have some kind of results, outcomes from the game. And the other experience that we had with these particular games that I showed you were very intangible, you know. So we were looking for a new game that could provide like a better experience for the client, but at the same time that could deliver concrete results. So it should combine like creative and analytical approaches, yes, of course. And we launched this challenge internally, and we had like, we call it like a dream, because we wanted to have like a rapid prototyping, and we managed to conclude the development, what we call the minimum viable product, in less than 3 months. And then we concluded some small batch production in less than 2 months. So it was a very short project for the product that we created. And we have like a concept that we call it all-in-a-box innovation tool. And the brand name is ideaChef, because we decided to have like a cuisine metaphor to make it more attractive for people, not just business oriented, of course, but at least having the possibility to play the game in a more fun scenario and different from the typical office and workplace. So we started developing these based on an idea that we had, a wish purpose that was clearly was well defined for us, and so we launched a project with different phases, as we imagine, and we took all these experiences and best practices about the other games, because we investigated a lot of different games, not only on the business side, not only business games, but also the games that we know from our childhood and that we played several times. So we wished to have like a full, a lot of feedback to come up with something that could make sense for the user. And so we investigated not only board games, of course, but also online games, all kind of games. And at the same time, we decided to play these games. So it was not just like going to the internet and doing like secondary data research, or no, we decided that since the beginning we should work in a very hands-on environment. So we decided also to play the games, to use it, and as I'm going to show you, also to prototype ourselves the products. And we did it with our own resources and expertise. I mean, trying to understand what should be the path and what should be the key features and the design of the product. And I mean, there were so many questions, but the main goal was really to solve a business problem. We decided that it should be very oriented for the business side, and that could be attractive for users that typically managers in a company organization. And what is behind is a method, of course. We created also a method based on the best practices that we investigated and many others that we applied during these years. And obviously one of the key issues was, I mean, asking the right questions, otherwise it won't be really easy to come up with the right answers for the problem. So it was really a very interactive process of generating the method based on the right questions. And at the end, we had to decide what kind of game we should develop. And there were so many concepts, and we had the short list was basically 3 concepts, and we had to decide. And I mean, our background, as you imagine, is IT, so we have a lot of IT applications. We are very much involved in all these software applications, but we realized that was some kind of opportunity for creating something physical and having our product for the first time. So yes, we created ideaChef, which is a board game, and now I would like to show you a case study about the implementation of ideaChef. In the meantime, maybe I can play the video because we have a short 2-minute video that I would like to show you before the case study, just to highlight the key issues about ideaChef. I don't know if you want to interrupt me, if you want to make some questions or remarks, or Arthur or the others.
Sounds like you can go ahead.
Yes? Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to play the video because it was like a requirement. A lot of people asking us, I mean, it's a great concept, but you need to explain it in a very short video because it's the rich content that everyone now is looking for. So okay, we have the slide presentation with a case study, but at the same time, yes, I think it's great to have the video and to highlight, and I will stop and I will explain in more detail the main issues that we have. Okay. So I was explaining that yes, we are in the market of the what we call like the creative. Let me just take this. Okay, the creative problem solving. I mean, ideaChef is like a tool, like many others in this space. I mean, we can discuss if it's not really the same thing as the brainstorming, is not really the same thing as the design thinking or legal serious play, but they are all in the same space, okay? It's what is called the creative problem solving. And ideaChef wants to be like a different, a new one, and more rich tool with a better performance basically in the areas that I define. I mean, really tackling a problem, a concrete problem, delivering like a result, an output that is recipe for the problem, and also, I mean, supporting this open environment for discussion and collaboration. So, but yes, I think it's good also to have a market, and I think we are in this market. So these are basically what we call the value proposition. I mean, solving problems in Korean team spirit, and it's very important for us to highlight this efficient. I mean, we call it because we really believe from our experience that is different from the other tools. I mean, because you just need to have a team of 6 players to play the game, and typically, and we now recommend that it should be in a maximum of a day. So it's quite different from the typical software or other projects that requires a lot of time to roll out, to implement, and then roll out in different locations or different settings. And this could be like a very interesting thing for people that want to use ideaChef. And as I was explaining, we have a method behind. So we divided this in 3 phases. We call it like the setup is the preparation of the game. You should define the problem or the challenge that you want to address or solve. And then you have the play phase. Then you play an idea. It's like the idea enhancement process that I will explain in more detail. That leads to the recipe for solving the problem. Okay, and then you have the report phase. The report phase is obviously when you try to write down the best contributions, but you need to have like a dashboard, which is in this picture, a dashboard, to allow you a full picture of all the best contributions and the information that is really required for the facilitator to design and write down the recipe for solving the problem. And this is very important because it's a clear output that we deliver with the tool, and also, I mean, with supportive documentation, templates that we have on top of the physical game. And this is like a software that we use for editing all the best contributions. One thing that a lot of people is really asking us is all the time is, I mean, it's great to have ideaChef, and I want to play ideaChef in all different settings, which is not possible, of course, because we believe that ideaChef is a really great tool, but for approaching innovation and problems and challenges. I mean, you should be close to the market, close to the client, and we are now giving some examples to clarify the scope of the project. You know? If you want to tackle a very technical issue, I mean, for a particular production process or whatever, I don't believe ideaChef is the right tool. However, if you want to create a new product, I mean, develop concepts for a new solution or application, sometimes we are looking for new ideas, for developing a new approach, okay? Selecting a technology for a new feature, yes, of course, we can embrace technology, but in order to embed this technology in a feature for a new service or new product or process, you know, identify new markets, new opportunities, yes, is a great tool. I mean, boost the performance of a service, engage with target clients. I mean, this is really important, and we have some examples now of people that are going to play the ideaChef with their own clients. I mean, then this is really great. And we are now entering, I don't know, but in a different market. It's not just creative problem solving, but I mean, there are a lot of companies that are doing market research that eventually could benefit from this tool. But anyway, I mean, we should continue. And we have this setup phase that is the problem description, where we can support the company with these tools, these templates that we have on top of the physical tool to support the process, defining the problem or the challenge, and also to supporting the users. I mean, the users are the players, because as I was mentioning about this structure, you have like a task force of people, and this task force is going to play the game, playing the game to solve the problem. So you need to find out which in your organization or outside your organization are the ones that could give you the best insights, inputs for addressing this particular problem or challenge. So it's really the concept of a task force. And then after deciding the idea to play, because you can only play an idea, and then obviously you can repeat playing and using other teams, but you need to start with an idea. And then it's a process of idea enhancement, where you discuss the idea, because you have different ideas, you have a ranking, and you start discussing one idea. But look, I mean, this is very interesting, because we also realize that companies decide to make this kind of ranking of ideas. But if you involve people from the same company, sometimes the type of ideas are very similar. It means that you may start discussing and playing one idea, but during the discussion, during the play phase, you will realize that each player will come up with their own ideas, and we will try to shape the solution with their initial thoughts. So it means that if you have 10 ideas, eventually 6 are very similar. So if a company decides to, oh, okay, I'm going to use ideaChef to play another idea, probably they will try to identify one of the 4 that were not really similar and were not really discussed during the play phase. The other concept is that we are doing this in an anonymous way. This is like a game to solve a problem. So it means that the other output is the recipe that the team, as a team, creates to solve the problem. So they are the best contribution that you collect, and you have on this dashboard that then the facilitator can easily read and write the conclusions, which is like the recipe. I mean, we call it like the fine-tuning, the idea enhancement process, where you have all the top ranking contributions, and you can have this kind of dashboard to facilitate the writing and the design of the recipe. And we have different reports. We have the extended report and the executive report. On the extended, it's like a full report with all information about each contribution of the player, I mean, the timings, I mean, everything. The executive report is like, I mean, 2-5 pages in a PowerPoint presentation where you can really highlight the main contributions. You state exactly what were the ideas, what were the idea played, and then the outputs. I mean, the dashboard, and this is the big board with contributions, and then the design of the recipe for the problem, which is like a report for the management. So we identify a lot of, I mean, different. I mean, it's like the top 10, but obviously there are other things that could benefit the company. But I would like to highlight some of them. I mean, yes, we are doing this in a very structured way because it's a game. As Arthur was mentioning, yes, it's very fun because people really have a different and open environment for discussion, and even for it's a competitive environment, as I was telling this, I mean, to other people, and promote a competitive spirit, but in a friendly environment, atmosphere. It means that it's fun, but it's structured, improves collaboration, and an open environment for discussion. The other thing that I think is also very interesting is that avoids people getting stuck in discussions. And this is terrible when and all of you, you have a lot of experience doing all this brainstorming, and sometimes it's difficult, even for a very experienced workshop leader, it's difficult to control the team. And we sometimes, it does not lead to a clear picture. So I mean, this topic is very interesting because with the game mechanics, we can control it much better. The other topics related, I mean, basically about these benefits are, I mean, I can sum up this in, I mean, allowing these insights. We can really gather all the information, but very interesting and effective insights. The other thing is that, yes, with the game, we can really, I mean, I don't know, sometimes adopt or forces really sometimes a common language, because people are really obliged to speak the same language. If you are going to come up with something specific for implementation, it's really important that everyone understand the problem, discuss the same thing, the same issues, and then come up with the same conclusion. And the process, I remember that I show you I mean, if you don't ask the right questions, you don't get the right answers. So it's really important to have provocative questions to trigger people. And we have this cuisine metaphor that is also very interesting to support this. And last but not the least, I mean, this kind of anonymous peer evaluation is a very strong concept. It allows a different way to evaluate. It's not like the typical stage gates process, but at the same time, it provides recognition to the best performers, because they are not really evaluated by the boss, but by their peers. And this is also very powerful. Well, and the end output, as I was mentioning, that is really distinctive from other applications, is that we provide the report. And this is like, we consider it's like the input for a kickoff of other projects, of a well-defined project about solving, addressing that specific challenge. And obviously, we cannot promise to a company that after playing ideaChef with a team of 6 people during half a day, they are going to solve the problem. But at least we can promise, yes, that are very much close to solve the problem. So they will have much more information, very structured reports, and ideas to solve the problem, which is a strong contribution for most of these companies and that we are targeting. And I mean, this is basically what I would like to show you, and it's a very short video. I just make this introduction. or telling me more detail these topics, we play this ideaChef game with a lot of companies. Now we have more than 45 users, or I mean people that played the game at least twice, and now we are in a go to market phase, which is why we are now promoting this and hoping to get people interest to support us in the facilitation of the game in potential clients. Well, Arthur, I don't know if we have time, if you can continue with the case study, if you want to interrupt for some questions.
I don't have questions, but one of the things I'm pleased about is that your game does seem to address some of the key issues that do occur in brainstorming sessions, such as keeping everyone in the same language and particularly providing a value to feedback to ideas. Often in brainstorming session, ideas move forward in a very uncritical manner, and which facilitates a lot of time being spent on non-viable ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like your game deals with that issue.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it was really these kind of things that allow us to say that we have some competitive advantage in relation to other tools.
And is there an aspect of the game which enables people to get positive feedback on an idea, that to develop consensus around ideas that seem to be of interest to the group?
Well, yes. So, and this is like just to conclude, I mean, the map of the journey. It means that this is like a case study. I'm just going to show you our case study. It was a case study that we play for ourselves for launching the software, the smart graph software, but because we cannot show data from the clients, because we are dealing with confidential data, because we are now discussing things from the innovation process of the client, real problems, you know. So we decided to write down this and to present our case study, which is simple for us because we can really disclose this kind of information, and to show you that we did it by, I mean, starting from the preparation, the setup of the game, and it was like the manager that outlined the challenge for playing, and the players generate some ideas. It was a very short process. Then we meet together for the play phase, and players evaluate the ideas in an anonymous way, peer review, and also they come up with like the top ranked, and this idea was the one that was really played. Then we have the report. So basically for the setup, we have these templates. We have a lot of tools, as I was explaining. I mean, we have these templates that supports the problem description. And so it's up to the manager to outline and submit the challenge to the team. It's part of the initial process, but he or she is very supported with these tools.
What is the minimum and maximum number of players in the game?
I mean, technically, you can have like a game theme with 2 players. But with 2 players, it's difficult to have collaboration. You know, we think that I mean, the maximum is 6, because we realized that for this kind of approach, it was very difficult to manage a team larger than 6 people.
So one idea would be possibly to have different teams of 6 playing in different rooms, so they can all be brainstorming at the same time.
Absolutely, Arthur. And also, as I was explaining when I showed the ideas, is that you can have the same team playing different ideas also. You can have an idea played by different teams. You can have the same team playing different ideas, you know?
That's good, because often in organizations they have more than 6 people involved in a process, and they would want them all involved in one
Of
way or
course,
another.
of course. This kind of approach is much better for not for the hackathon of ideas, is for the enhancement of ideas, you know. But anyway, I agree, and I believe that we can address it by having in a different room another team playing the ideas, of course. But is the task force thing, you know. We need to have the right people to play that particular idea to get the right solution. Otherwise, I mean, as in IT, we always say garbage in, garbage out. Then we have this kind of idea evaluation. We did it. I explained it. We have different ideas, but we are going to select one. So after having this idea, we play the top ranking idea, and we have all these different phases. And in this case, it was Pedro. Hi, Pedro. That was really the player. It was like the winner of the game, the individual winner, because the game as of course the recipe for the problem that is the other output, the greatest output of the game for the company. And this process that we provide for designing the recipe is really backed with we call it like the big board is like a dashboard. And this is like the physical board that we have in the game that we use in the final stage, but we can also edit in a software. So for editing the contributions, we use the board game in a software. It's like a PowerPoint, but you can edit, and you can use it then for generating the recipe. So, I mean, it really allows us to address this specific challenge. I mean, and then there was like the report, and in 2 other pages we have the report, and this is like the top benefits that I already discussed with you. I mean, this is like the feedback that we are having from people that are playing ideaChef, and I mean the feedback has been really great. And the outcomes, I mean, people sometimes are very happy for playing ideaChef, saying that yes, I managed to generate a different approach and different ideas for this specific product that I'm launching. Eventually, in this case, it was like an IT company that decided to change completely the roadmap. They were like having different actions ongoing already and trying to implement this in the short term, and they decided obviously to change the process and implementing new features and new ideas for developing this application. But it's something that in other cases, I can give you other examples. It was very funny. Once a client told us that the recipe was not really going to be very useful for them. And I thought that, well, maybe we did something wrong. But the guy said, no, it's not a problem of the game. The game helped us to understand that our problem was not really well described. So we were really allocating our resources to a problem that was not really the problem, you know. And so it was very, very nice also as the final feedback.
It's interesting that your game surfaced that as an issue.
Yeah, yeah. This is also a particular situation that sometimes we feel that having the problem well framed is like a condition for a very successful project, because sometimes we have difficulties in understanding that we are allocating our resources and trying to solve problems that are not really the problem.
Sometimes their product teams have strategies also which are really can't be executed for one reason
Yeah,
or another. So a game like this might help to identify such situations.
and they have sometimes also different agendas that are not really in line with the final goal. I mean, so, but there are a lot of issues, of course.
Mm.
Well, that's, I mean, we are really concluding, and just want to show you our partner search. And so we believe that only working with, we call it like our alliances network, is possible to roll out these tools in companies and organizations. So we rely on our partners to be very successful in this model. And we are looking for experts in the area, as I was explaining. I mean, people that can really introduce and bring their expertise for managing all this and facilitating the teams and the play session. But at the same time, as you understand, a very good consultant can really support the company in the preparation of the game on the setup phase by explaining exactly and supporting them in framing the problem, which is a very good service for a company, you know? So we really need to have very experienced people, practitioners, I mean, like consultants, coaches, workshop leaders, I mean, people that work in the area, in this space, and that can really be interested in conducting these sessions and adopting this approach of games and ideaChef particularly. So the benefits that we believe from our perspective that we can offer to our partners is basically a way to grow the business, discover new opportunities, because when you start discussing with a client and saying, look, now I'm not going to use the typical tools. Now we have a new tool that is a board game. And the guy at least will say, well, a board game, for what? So at least it could open new opportunities for discussion and growing the business. And also because we believe that are very good tools, so it will be a way also for the partner to extend their portfolio and in adding these tools that we are now providing and that we can share with them. I mean, we would like to interact with people with different area of expertise. So I mean, so many different things like design thinking, creativity, but also team building. These more intangible, but also more tangible things, like I mean, intellectual property or performance management. I mean, innovation financing, things that are, I mean, related to the innovation cycle. And I was mentioning market research, that is also very, very important. So there are a lot of areas that we believe that could interact and be really very useful to support ideaChef experience. And so we have like this step forward for collaboration, and we believe that first we must have like these alignments. So we would like to start with the first, I mean, contact with people in order to understand their goals, their expectations, and if there is some kind of alignment, we should proceed signing an NDA, and then, well, starting with the training process, I mean, providing the demo, explaining in more detail how it works, because, I mean, there are so many features, so many things that it requires that we spend some time with the partner to demonstrate the game, how it works in detail. And then we obviously want to identify opportunities for business, and we are proposing all our partners in this phase until the end of the year to identify and acquire, like we call it, like an anchor customer. And for this anchor customer, we propose that we perform like a trial project. It means that we are not requiring to the customer, our customers now, to buy the product yet. They should be able to try, and after, if it works for them, yes, of course, we should be able to negotiate and to sell the game as a product, I mean the physical product, along with hours or days for consultancy and to supporting them in the preparation, the play phase, as well in the reporting that is required for designing the recipe for the product. And so that's it. And well, thank you very much for your time, and hope at least I clarified a little bit more this concept and what is really ideaChef. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Roy. That is very, very interesting. I probably have some follow-up questions for you at another time. This event is I want to mention, is being recorded, and a link to the recording will be made available to everyone who registered for the presentation. So if there's anything that you would like to hear again, you'll have a chance to review the recording, and I'm sure, of course, Rory would be happy to answer any questions you have as well. Are there any questions now for Roy before we finish up?
Hi, this is Bruce Yonda. I appreciated the presentation, Roy. I was wondering, as I was just looking at your website on my other screen, looks like you have some videos of people playing the game. Is there a lot more detail in some of those videos that we could understand it a little better?
Well, we cannot disclose these videos because they are from our clients. So we ask them authorization for for creating the video, the 2-minute video that I played. But
okay, I'm sorry, I thought I saw more on your website.
Well, you have on our website the videos that I played. I mean, there are only 2 videos, but I think it will give you like a very good picture of the game. Okay.
Okay.
But if you want to have access to this more detailed explanation by, seeing these videos from the client, it requires that we start this process of partnership, sign the NDA, and then I can disclose more information to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, welcome. Thank you very much.
Okay, are there any other questions? All right, then we'll stop here. And
Yep.
But if there are additional questions, you can follow up with Rory after the.
But